beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverly and it is really nice to see you today. It really is. I am feeling good. I got my puppy dog here. He's trying to get on my lap as always. How you doing, little man? So today we're going to be talking about past life regression. It's a controversial topic. I know that people either believe it or they think it's a load of rubbish. I welcome any and all opinions as long as they are given with respect. So that is all I ask. If you have a different opinion or you think I'm talking rubbish or you think I've gone mad, that's fine. But down in the comments, just be respectful. Thank you. But before we get talking, I just wanted to remind you, if you're new here and you've not yet done it, please click that little subscribe button down there. Ring that little bell so you always know when I upload. I'm trying to grow my channel and I really hope that you will join this little family here. So on Monday I had crystal healing for the first time, and then on Wednesday my friend Josh again came over for the day to my house this time, and he gave me regression. He's just qualified in regression techniques, and I've always wanted to have past life regression. I've always wanted to see what I was before, because I do have, when I go to certain places, I have deja vu, or I have things where I remember memories and I'm like, what? How? I've never been here before. And it freaks me out. But maybe understanding my past lives a bit better, it'll come true to the point where I will understand myself even better, and I'll be able to get to a better place in my life. Doesn't sound too bad, huh? So basically past life regression is using hypnosis techniques to help a person find those memories inside them of past lives. Helps you to heal past. Sometimes your karma from the past lives can be accumulated and can rear their ugly head in this life, stuff like that. I'm just starting to understand about all of this and just starting to learn about it, and so I wanted to give it a whirl, and then I thought I would come and tell you all about it. So this week it's been trying new things. Monday it was crystal healing, and today we're talking about past life regression. So I know it's controversial. There isn't a lot of scientific backup for past life regression, although people have had after-death experiences. So they've died and they've come back and they have memories of things happening. And in all different cultures, the experiences seem to be the same from what I've read, from what I've looked up and researched and found. I find this subject incredibly interesting, and so I kind of wanted to do a bit more with it and kind of, you know, give it a whirl. I sat in my normal chair. He put a triangle of 3, I think they were hematite crystals by my feet as protection. He grounded me first. Grounding, I talk about it a lot. I am actually going to do a video about grounding and protection when you're doing things, because I have noticed people going on ghost hunts, and I've had things happen in my house and all this kind of thing. And so they obviously have gifts, they have the ability, they have the interest, but they're not learning how to ground themselves and protect themselves correctly, and so they might be bringing spirits home with them. They might be getting, oh, I dread to think what might be happening. And so I'm going to do a video about grounding and protection for sure. But he grounded me and protected me first of all, and by the time he'd done that I was quite deep into the meditation. So I just kind of sat here, my feet were on the floor, I had a pillow behind my head because I get a lot of neck pain. And I just kind of just relaxed as much as I could, and he talked me through. It was like a guided meditation that I do on my Insight Timer app. I basically just let go. I could hear his voice, and then after a while his voice became, I don't know how to describe it, like not muffled, like softer, like I couldn't hear it as clearly as I could before. And that's when I was like deeper in the meditation. And then he described a door in front of me. And he said, there's a door standing in front of you. Remember what it looks like. Remember what it feels like. Feel the texture of it. Mine was quite a heavy, like a dark oak kind of door with green painting round it. It reminded me a lot of like a Hobbit from the Lord of the Rings door, but not as round. I hope this makes sense. It's very hard to describe these things. And then he said, when you open the door, then you'll be in your past life. So he said, open the door. And when I opened the door, it was like I could see the past. We were in like sculpted gardens, a massive stately home kind of set up. I've been to stately homes before and I was like, whoa, where the heck am I? And it's kind of strange because I can feel my like logical mind was still like talking in the background, but I was so deep in the meditation that it was like talking up here, and then everything was happening in my mind's eye. So you're not actually looking, but you can see it in your mind's eye. And then Josh said, look down at your feet. And I don't do this. In my head, I imagine looking down at my feet, and I could see I had white, like stockings on, and black shoes. And they were quite beaten up shoes. They weren't like nice, pristine shoes. My tights were like a bit grubby. Not filthy dirty, but a bit, you know, used, shall we say. So I thought, I'm not somebody rich. Okay. So my logical mind is thinking myself through it, but my mind's eye is, I'm just seeing it. And as I looked up, I could see that I was wearing a very simple grey dress. Yeah, very simple, very fitted here, and then just kind of went down to the floor with a white apron, and I had like a white bonnet on. And I was about 11 years old. Yeah, I knew I was 11 years old. It's really strange because like even though I could like see myself, I was a little kid. It was really strange. So I'm an 11-year-old, and then he's like, look around you, what can you see? And we were like behind these sculpted gardens in like an area, and we were doing washing. So we had like, there was me and a group of women, all dressed very simply, all with like the bonnets on. And I thought, what on earth, where am I? It was really strange. We were just doing the washing, like the family washing. It was like, this is what we do on a Monday. It was a Monday. I don't know what that means. But washing day, we were washing in the garden, and it just felt like this is my life, this is who I am. It didn't feel like I was daydreaming or making it up. I am quite a daydreamer, and I will often daydream scenarios and stuff, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like I was actually there. It's hard to explain and describe right, but I hope I'm doing a good job. We went through, he made notes while I was under, so let's go through the notes. He asked me at one point if I'd got children, and I was like, I'm only 11. And in my head, I was like, are you an idiot? Like, look at me, I'm just 11. But obviously he's seeing just me. So that really made me laugh. Like afterwards when I thought about it, I was like, I'm only little, like duh. It was so funny. So the big house wasn't my house. I live there, but it's not my house. It definitely felt like I work here. I live here and I work here, but it's not my house. So he asked me what I do in the house, and I said I help in the kitchen. So I felt like I was kind of some kind of kitchen maid, something like that, very low down in the house, just kind of helping out the women. Like I just do whatever they tell me to do. And the family don't really like to see me. They don't know I exist. Like I'm not supposed to be in view at any time, is how it felt. It felt like I just scurry around doing the jobs I'm told to do. He asked me whose house it was, and I said it's the Earl. No, I thought it's the Earl's house, and then I said it's a family's house. Because although the Earl owned the house, his family lived there. And he asked me what country I was in, and I said England, and he asked me what year it was, and I said 1792. It's very rare to get like a date, apparently, but I don't know where it came from. It was just like, I'm sat here like in this, a bit like, how can I explain it? What them games where you put the thing on, virtual reality. It's a bit like virtual reality and my mouth's talking, but it's got nothing to do with what I'm seeing, immersed in this world. That's probably the closest thing I can describe it as. I said it was country estate, and my name was Emily Jones. Now, I have thought of looking this person up, and I am kind of tempted to look up. It would be reasonably easy. However, Emily and Jones were, I mean, they're very basic, broad names. Emily was a very popular name in the past, and Jones is like, well, everyone knows a Jones. And also not knowing where in England and stuff like that, the specifics of it, it would be hard to look her up. And also, I'm not sure how good records of people were back then. Like, I've never really looked into records and stuff. But maybe one day I'll look her up. Who knows? So, yeah, I'm 11. He asked about my parents. I said my mum works in the kitchen, my dad is dead. That's not my parents now, my parents then. They're not the same people. I don't go to school, I've never been. And he said, have you always lived here? And I said yes. Like, I felt like, you know, I was born here, my family just work here, that's just what we do. We all do it, and that's just that. You don't have a choice in the matter, that's all you do. That's kind of the feeling that I got. And he asked, where in the house do you live? And I said there's like a separate area for us where we live. And it felt like it was like off the kitchen and downstairs, but I don't know. It's really weird. Like, to even think about these things is like, what? He said, what will you do in the future? And I said, I will work in the kitchen. So it definitely felt like this was something like when my mum gets too old, she'll move on to something else and I will move up to working in the kitchen. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone just kind of flows through it. He asked me if the owners are very nice, and I said they're not. I definitely got the feeling that if you did something wrong, you would get beaten by this man in some way, and I was terrified of being seen. There was one point where Josh said to me, wander around and see what you can see, I'll leave you to wander around. And I felt like I can't wander around. Like, I'm allowed in this little area of garden where we live, and then the kitchen, and that's it. Like, if I go upstairs or out the front or something. And then he said, do you have a message for Beverly in this life? And I said, don't be scared and don't let anything stop you. I am somebody who, my whole life, fear has controlled my life and changed my life. I have generalised anxiety disorder. And this is a very hard disorder to live with. It makes everything feel like your fight or flight is going all day, every day, when you're just going to hang the washing outside. Like, I used to think, oh, everyone's going to be watching me, I can't do this. And so I was like frightened to even go in my back garden a couple of years ago, and I've really, really worked hard to get to a point where I can kind of wander around my house and garden as I want. But that message really touched me when I came to, and he like read through everything and told me that. I felt like, yeah, I need to stop letting fear hold me back. Don't be afraid. Just stop it now, Beverly. You can do anything. That's kind of the attitude that I want to have. I want to manifest amazing things in my life. I want to go forward and just make all my dreams come true. And I can't do that if I'm sat here being scared all the time. So that's something I'm going to be working on. Then he told me to come back, like the door suddenly appears behind you. So I know the door's behind me, and he's like, turn around and open the door, step through it and close the door behind you, lock it and put the key in your pocket. You can come back anytime you want to this life to have a look, to find out more information about yourself then, anytime you want. But for now, it's locked away and safe. When I came to, I felt really awake, felt really good. It didn't leave me feeling dopey. I was scared that it would leave me feeling like really like groggy and dopey and just out of it, but it didn't. Thank you. I was really appreciative of that. And then he and I got talking, and he was telling me that like my energy kind of changed when I stepped through the door. Like my energy changed, and I started talking a little bit differently, which was really, really interesting to me. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd recorded it, because I'd love to know like what he meant. But it was just so interesting. And since I've come out of that, I've kind of felt a little bit more confident. It's hard to explain. It's like I've looked at that life and gone, that's why I'm scared all the time. It's nothing to do with this life. It's nothing to do with now. It's that life. I was scared because I was a servant for a family and I wasn't treated very well. So I was always afraid. But now I live a good life. What am I afraid of? So it was really nice to kind of get that, have a look at that life and feel what it felt like to be that person, and then to kind of step back from it and be like, okay, that's not me now, but that's left over. And then he used a pendulum to ask how many lives I'd had. So the life I'm in at the moment is my 5th life. And this life that I had as Emily was my 4th life. So I have another 3 to explore with Josh, and we're going to do that over time. There's no rush on that, but I just felt and feel still extremely thankful that Josh has come into my life, because he's really helping me to move forwards. It's sometimes hard to see things from another perspective when you're just on your own all the time. This is like where I am 98% of the time, on my own. So it's hard to get different perspectives on things and to learn different things. So to have somebody who's going through the same transitions in life as me and has the same mindset and the same beliefs as me, it's really great to have that support, and I hope he feels that I give that support to him as well. I just feel incredibly thankful for him. I will leave a link down below to the video I did on Monday about crystal healing. I still feel great. I had crystal healing last week, so it's Friday today, and last Tuesday I had the healing. So we're coming up to 2 weeks after, and I feel really good. My body isn't quite as heavy and tired feeling. I feel a lot more awake, and just a lot more connected to myself than I've felt in a long time. And it's hard to explain, but it's like I can feel things a bit more, and I feel more in control of my body again than I did. I'm going to try and have crystal healing every month if I can, because I really feel like that's going to be something that's going to, over time, hopefully help me a lot to deal with my pain and all the rest of it. Pain mainly, and my fatigue. Yeah, if it can help me with those 2 things, I will be so thankful. But yeah, it was crazy. I always thought I was Victorian. Like, whenever I would watch a period drama on TV, I was always like, oh, I was a Victorian scullery maid, definitely. That's what I did, that's what I did. And now I find out it's like 1792, which is like, what, Tudor times? Is that, who was on the throne? Hold on. It was George IV. Was that the Mad King? Is that Mad King George? I think it was. I think that was Mad King George. That just says it all, doesn't it, really? But it's really interesting. It's interesting to find links to your past and to find out how that affects you now. It's something I've always wanted to look into, and I'm so thankful that it's happening now. I can look into those things and find those things out. I am the luckiest. But yeah, I would love to know what you guys think about past life regression. Is it something you've had done, something you would love to have done? Do you know somebody who's had past life regression? It's opened up a few conversations with friends that I've really enjoyed. And also let me know if you don't think it's a real thing. You know, I would love to know if you think this was all just my imagination, because I just like hearing other people's opinions and having conversations. But again, as always, keep it civil, be nice, be kind to one another. So it's Friday. I hope you all have amazing weekends. I hope you have fun things planned to do. If you do, definitely let me know down below. Yeah, have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.